For decades, choosing a car meant picking petrol or diesel. Simple. But now, we're on the edge of the biggest shakeup in driving since the car was invented. The 2030s are when electric cars go mainstream, no longer a novelty, but the default. This isn't just about being green, it's about your wallet, your commute, and what you'll actually find in showrooms. The electric versus petrol debate is about to get real for everyone. The rules, technology, and costs are changing fast, sometimes in ways that might surprise you. New taxes, shifting prices, and government policies are all in play. For drivers in the UK and US, the 2030s are the decade of decision. We'll break down the real costs, from sticker price to monthly bills, and how government nudges affect your bottom line. It's about understanding the total cost of owning a car, not just the upfront price. The shift to electric is happening, but the journey will be full of twists and turns. Our job? To give you a clear, no-nonsense map of what's coming. Buckle up. Let's dive into the future of driving, starting with the new rules of the road. Let's talk deadlines. When will new petrol and diesel cars disappear? In the UK, from 2030, you can't buy a new petrol or diesel car. Hybrids get a 5-year extension, but by 2035, it's all electric. In the US, there's no federal ban, just a patchwork of state rules. California and a few others aim for a 2035 ban, but in many states, petrol cars will stick around longer. These bans only affect new cars. You'll still be able to buy and sell used petrol vehicles for years. But expect running costs and taxes on petrol cars to rise as governments push for electric. The second-hand market will thrive, but values and costs will shift. In the UK, the electric transition is coming fast. In the US, it's more gradual and varied. Car makers everywhere are going electric, so petrol options will dwindle. The end of the road for petrol is in sight, just at different speeds on each side of the Atlantic. The key, be ready for a changing market, whichever side you're on. The countdown has begun. Government's no talk isn't enough. They're putting money on the table. In the UK, grants can knock thousands off a new EV, making them more affordable. In the US, federal and state tax credits can add up, but you'll need to check the fine print. These incentives help close the price gap and get more people into electric cars. But the perks won't last forever. From 2025, UK EVs will start paying road tax, and by 2028, a pay-per-mile charge kicks in. Governments are balancing carrots and sticks. Grants to get you in, new taxes to make up for lost fuel duty. As more drivers switch, expect the tax gap between petrol and electric to shrink. The financial landscape is shifting, so look at the whole journey, not just the first step. Incentives help now, but plan for future costs. The push is on, but the rules are evolving. Stay alert to changes that could affect your wallet. The biggest hurdle for electric cars? Price. But that's changing, fast. Battery tech and competition are driving costs down. By the late 2020s, new EVs will cost the same as petrol cars. The used market is flipping too. 3 to 5-year-old EVs are now often cheaper than petrol equivalents. For budget buyers, a used EV can be a bargain. The focus is shifting from sticker price to total cost of ownership. Battery reliability fears are fading as tech improves. Whether you buy new or used, the financial barrier to electric is crumbling. The playing field is leveling, and in some cases, electric is already winning on price. The old arguments are out. It's a new era for car buyers. After you buy, the real costs kick in, and here, electric cars shine. Charging at home is far cheaper than petrol, especially with lower VAT in the UK. Public rapid chargers can be pricey, sometimes matching petrol costs, so home charging is key. Maintenance? Electric cars have fewer moving parts, no oil, no spark plugs, no exhaust, so servicing is cheaper. Regenerative braking means even brake pads last longer. New taxes are coming. UK EVs pay road tax from 2025, and a per-mile charge from 2028. But even with these, EV running costs are still lower than petrol for most drivers. For those with home charging, the savings are clear. If you rely on public charging, do the maths. It might not be as cheap. The gap is closing, but electric still wins on running costs for most. The future is cheaper, but only if you charge smart. Let's compare. Peter buys a new petrol hatchback in 2031. Ellie buys an electric one. Both pay about $30,000 up front. After a year, Peter spends around $1,500 on fuel, $195 on tax, and $200 on servicing. Total $1,095. Ellie spends $350 on home charging, $195 on tax, and $255 on mileage charges. Total $800. Ellie saves over $1,000 in just 1 year. Fast forward 5 years. Peter's running costs hit $10,000. Ellie's are about $4,525. That's a $5,000 plus difference in Ellie's favor. This is the total cost of ownership advantage. Fuel and maintenance savings easily outweigh new taxes. Even if Ellie used public chargers half the time, she'd likely still come out ahead. For drivers with home charging, the financial case for electric is overwhelming. The numbers speak for themselves. The sticker price is just the start. The real savings are in the years ahead. For most, electric is the smarter long-term bet. The 2030s will make that clearer than ever. The biggest question now: charging. Public charging points are multiplying fast. 87,000 in the UK by 2026, aiming for 300,000 by 2030. The US is building a national network of fast chargers too. Soon charging will be as easy as finding a petrol station. Ultra-rapid chargers can add 100 miles in minutes, but challenges remain. Rural areas and people without driveways still face hurdles. On-street and workplace chargers are growing, but not everywhere. Fairness and access are key. Everyone needs reliable charging, not just city dwellers. The infrastructure is expanding, but it needs to reach everyone. If you can't charge at home, watch how your local network develops. The electric future depends on charging for all. Just when you think you know the rules, politicians change them. The UK's petrol ban deadline has shifted more than once. US incentives change with each administration. This creates confusion for drivers and car makers alike, but the global car industry is all in on electric. Billions invested, and there's no turning back. Policy changes might slow things down, but they won't stop the shift. The best move? Focus on the long-term trends, not short-term politics. When it's time to buy, check the current incentives and do the maths for your situation. The fundamentals, lower running costs and maintenance, aren't going away. Expect detours, but the electric destination is set. Stay informed and plan for what's real, not just what's promised. So, electric or petrol? There's no one-size-fits-all answer. If you have a driveway and do lots of local driving, electric is the clear winner, cheaper, more convenient, and future-proof. If you rely on public charging or live in a rural area, petrol or a hybrid might still make sense for now. Watch how charging networks grow in your area. The balance will keep shifting. The key: stay informed, do your sums, and test drive both options. Don't be swayed by old myths or hype. Focus on your real needs. The car you buy in the late 2020s or early 2030s could be your last petrol, or your first electric. It's a big decision, but with the right info, you'll make the smart choice. The road ahead is changing fast. Get ready for an electric future, on your terms.